Hey, what's up, everybody? So HenchRoidivore uploaded a new video, and it's him being a fucking moron regarding human physiology. So, in this video, he's taking a shot at obviously Sverige again, and I don't want to defend Sverige or anything here, but he does say some fucking retarded things, and HenchRoidivore. But the thing I want to touch on to is that HenchRoidivore. I mean, it's in his name, herbivore, but he genuinely thinks we're fucking herbivores. But yeah, let's watch this shit. He has a little spurg out moment at the beginning here, like a full on fucking roid head.
He didn't take B12. There's one supplement that vegans should all take. It's B12. He's the expert of the world.
So he'll say this shit like, oh, we should all take B12. I mean, vegans. And then he'll say that we're herbivores. It's like, where the fuck is the logic there, man? Like, I don't know what to begin. How is this diet natural? How are we herbivores? And then you're telling vegans to take B12 supplements.
He didn't know to take B12. He wasn't taking B12, and he wondered why it all went wrong. What a moron!
So he's got this fucking
so I'm called
rapey
Prem.
intro.
I was part of the vegan movement for 15 years.
Meet Prem, aka MC Matchstick. See last video for context. One of the new.
So you can see that HenchRoidivore has this kind of like, I would go as far to say as body dysmorphia. I mean, that's why he's probably taking steroids. I mean, he's projecting himself onto this guy who is comfortable with his body, and he's a fairly skinny guy, and he just mocks him for being skinny, calling him MC Matchstick. You know, so it's quite sad and quite low of HenchRoidivore, but you know, what else do you expect from a vegan?
Newest members of Sverige's merry band of nitwits.
I was the first raw vegan company in Australia.
And I'd like to point out, Hench, if you're watching this, he's got a much better hairline than you do, than your non-existent hairline. So
We had the #1 superfood website in Australia. We were teaching classes.
and plus, I don't know how old Hench is. I assume he's in his early 40s or late 30s. This guy, he's 30 now, and he looks like he's like 23 or some shit.
Every city.
A former self-proclaimed teacher of raw veganism and
This guy just looks fucked up.
other fringe nonsense.
Because I was open. I was never vegan because of the animals. Like, I always felt connected to the animals and nature. Like,
If you're connected to animals, why do you want them dead?
Why do you want them dead? How does he want them dead? He wants to consume animals for his own benefit, for his own health.
You don't feel connected to others.
Why do vegans always strawman meat eaters and do this shit? Like, oh, you ate this steak, let's say, for iron, creatine, all those benefits. Oh, suddenly you want all animals dead. No, we don't. We don't want all animals dead. Okay, I mean, when you're getting your grains shipped across the world, most of the time there's animals that are fucking mutilated and killed in your harvesting methods because of the combine harvesters. So it's just more vegan bullshit.
Humans.
but the vegan arguments always sounded like nonsense to me.
Yes, try not to harm others unnecessarily. What crazy nonsense.
Yeah, because the thing is, your arguments are fucking retarded. You're most, like, all vegans are pro-abortion, but at the same time they're pro animal rights, like, don't kill animals. So where is the double standard? If we're animals, if we have evolved from Neanderthals, where do we draw the line there? You know, is it are you a vegan then if you're pro-abortion?
I can see why you'd struggle with that one.
Nothing to do with an understanding of nature.
Strange how humans have mirror neurons in the brain, so we feel others' suffering as our own.
Yeah, look, the whole thing with that, you have to look at how kids are raised, well, they have been raised in the past 20 years, 20, 30 years. And then you need to look at how kids were raised in the 1940s, 1930s, 1950s. Complete difference in the type of media that these kids consumed. So like now, there's so many movies where animals are talking and they have this kind of connection in movies and all these kind of fake like cartoons. And I mean, you can't necessarily demonize movies like The Lion King and all this shit, but you have to open your eyes a bit and acknowledge that these movies have played a role in kind of forming this, I would say, disconnecting humans from animals. And the only way people know about animals when they eat animals is in the supermarket when they're all nicely packaged up. So we've kind of degenerated ourselves to the point where we're not even connected to the animals anymore, and we have this false illusion that we're somehow becoming more connected by abstaining from animals and forming all these deficiencies. So it doesn't make sense.
Nature much?
But what happened is after 3 years I collapsed. So I had basically chronic fatigue. I couldn't really even walk. I was like in bed all the time. I was very active at the time, like surfing 4 or 5 hours a day. This was like a shock at first, like what's going on, I'm the healthiest I could possibly be,
Yeah, deficiencies.
Raw vegan and other fringe nonsense expert developed serious health problems. Whatever could have gone wrong?
You mentioned the supplements. Did you also take B12 and all of that?
No.
He didn't take B12. There's one supplement that vegans should all take. It's B12. He's the expert of the world.
Yeah, like, again, obviously, not everyone can absorb B12, and not everyone can absorb B12 at the same rate, and not everyone can absorb B12 through the same methods. So, for example, pills or injecting B12. Now, what's moronic of this idiot is that he is so ignorant and retarded. He thinks like the only vitamin that's missing from a vegan diet is B12, but he does not consider the phytates from things like seeds and grains that can lead to deficiencies in iron, and a lot of people become anemic. A lot of vegetarians as well, and this is because it's very difficult to constantly consume large amounts of greens daily. It's expensive and it's unrealistic, and we wouldn't have done that in nature. Like it's just really stupid. And I've had experiences of this. I mean, as soon as I started kind of laying off greens, and because I was busy with exams and studying, I started forming a iron deficiency. Now, a vegan would say take an iron supplement, but then we need to say, hang on, is this really a natural diet? If we're taking all these supplements, does this sound natural to you? Have we evolved taking pills? No, we haven't. So it's like getting an engine and putting a really weird mix of unleaded fuel in there, and then just hoping that the engine will run the same way. It just doesn't work.
He didn't know to take B12. He wasn't taking B12 and he wondered why it all went wrong. What a moron!
I mean, I did at a small time.
If you're eating a vegan diet for 15 years, you want to take more than a little bit of B12. Brain much.
Why? I thought a vegan diet's natural.
What an absolute genius.
I knew it has to come, like, let's say from, algae.
And it's just not, it's not only B12. I mean, vegans love to limit the damage when it comes to this deficiencies argument. And they'll say, oh, it's just B12. But there's a lot of things like vitamin A, creatine, vitamin K2. A lot of these vitamins are not being absorbed by vegans. So, yeah, and it's something that is very long term. That's what I've noticed. I mean, I was when I was vegan, I was staying on top of everything, but over time, you slip up, and then it will catch up with you, and you'll start forming deficiencies. And I knew something was wrong when I quit vegetarianism, which was my last moments in this cult-like retarded lifestyle. That this is fucked up. Like every morning and night, I was getting severe headaches. I started consuming meat for a few days, and all those symptoms just went away. So I was consuming quality grass-fed beef. So
kind of stuff.
There is no
the whole heme iron thing. So
B12 in algae or this kind of stuff. You silly man. Teacher.
I believe there is no B12 in algae. I believe there is. Yes, there is. So let me just check something here. Did he just say there is no B12 in algae?
Stuff.
There is no B12 in algae or this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so this guy is fucking completely brain dead. I don't even know how he has 40,000 subscribers. B12 is in algae. I do know about this. And I believe it's like one of the best. I mean, there's a vegan fucking site talking about this. I believe it's one of the best forms of B12 for a vegan. It's through algae. But I remember Frank Tufano making a few videos about this. Something to do with inflammation or B12 not being absorbed completely through algae. But I do know, I think it's one of the best methods for vegans. However, even Vegan Gains, I remember he said in a live stream that you can get B12 from algae supplements. This guy's a chronic retard, though. All these roids have just fucking started degenerating his little brain.
You
You
silly
can see his skull starting to dry up, all those wrinkles.
man. Teacher. You had no clue of what you were doing. You were taking money from the public and you messed up your
Oh,
own
because you have a clue of what you're doing.
health. Wow. Let's hope you've learned your lesson, hey?
The more vegans there are, this is the biggest fuel to the raw carnivore movement.
Is that the same raw carnivore movement that can muster 0 to 4 people to protest at any given time?
Also about the event.
All right, well, 0 to 4 people. The thing is, there's people in the carnivore movement who are all over the world. I mean, I've seen carnivore protests in nearly like every city around the world, major city. And yeah, it's not like fucking 500 vegans, but it's like 5 to 10 carnivore guys just eating some meat. And I mean, the thing is, it's growing. It's been a thing that has been growing. So, I mean, there was just a Carnicon or something, Carnivore Con. And Michaela Peterson was there. and the whole place was packed. So yeah, it's definitely a movement that's growing, and it's being perpetuated by people like you, vegans, who are giving false dietary advice, and that's leading to people feeling like shit, becoming deficient, and then quitting veganism.
Events in Edinburgh and Belfast, I didn't end up doing them because in Edinburgh there were only 3 subscribers interested in coming, and in Belfast actually nobody.
Like, just look at most of the raw carnivores. They were vegan.
Yes, raw vegans who also fasted, drank their own piss, and didn't take their B12. You know, like you moron.
This guy, Fred or Friend, I don't know, Meat of the Matter, whatever his name is. He never drank his piss. I know one guy, Sean Walsh. He's the guy who drank his piss, and he is still a vegan, as far as I know.
I was like, this is intrinsically wrong. I'm 31. My teeth are rotting. I cannot digest anything. So how am I going to get better? And I broke down in tears, and I was like praying to life, you know, to myself. And I find whenever you face something and really ask the question or just face it, then you get an answer if you're truly open. And the next day I saw a comparison of the digestive systems, and that's what triggered it.
Oh dear, did you look in the wrong column, son? Because anatomically, physiologically, biochemically, and psychologically, everything about us screams herbivore.
Wrong. Okay, especially the last part, psychologically. I mean, there's been experiments where babies had meat put in front of them, and they've had vegetables put in front of them. They've always gone for the meat. You can also see Frank Tofano's video on this. He's got footage of babies being fed meat and babies being fed fruit or vegetables, and you can clearly see babies just kind of like put it in their mouth, chew on vegetables a bit, and then spit it back out. But whereas when they're eating meat, they're literally like, it's a life form. They're full on, you know, eating it.
I do hope, obviously, that people listen to this and all the info that we're giving, because it's real, man. Like, we really can save lives.
The overwhelming preponderance of data proves unequivocally that a whole foods, plant-based diet is the optimal.
What data? The various studies funded by vegans. There's the data.
Diet for human health. Is it fair to say that you have no knowledge of nutritional science and have merely jumped from one extreme fringe diet to the other, and really and truly you should shut the up before you end up hurting someone?
That sums it up, yeah.
Thank you, Spherage. YouTube wants you to watch this video next. Don't click on it if you think that meat is a health food and that fruits and vegetables will give you space aids.
And all the info that we...
So yeah, he says we're herbivores. Obviously no shit. But there was a few things I'd like to point out. I mean, herbivores, like cows, have got multiple stomachs. Right. We know this. And the thing is, our stomach acids as well are actually in the range of some carnivore animals. Right? And when HenchRoidivore is telling us that we shouldn't be consuming, or that we're completely herbivores, that also is retarded in the sense that if we're herbivores, how come our brain, this is scientifically known and has been proven, how come when we evolved into humans, we what's it called? Shit, I just got text and it put me off. So how come when we evolved, we used meat to develop our brain, you know, and by cooking meat, we were able to help develop our brain. So yeah, the other thing I wanted to point out is that our stomach acid can be between the range of 1 and 3 or 4. Obviously, if it's higher, it's going to be worse for optimal health. However, you have to realize how strong stomach acid is. Nearly as strong, or if not as strong, as battery acid. And there are videos on YouTube where you can see experiments with stomach acid and leaving things in stomach acid. And what happens over time is that the stomach acid will completely dissolve through things. That's how strong it is. And the stomach acid is extremely strong. So it's completely capable of digesting meat, especially raw meat. Now, all these indigenous groups have done this for a long time. I had another source here, but I don't know what happened to it. I think it was talking about the strength of stomach acid. But yeah, it's very interesting. And if you're confused about this, check it out. I mean, stomach acid is... yeah, here we go. If you were to put a drop of stomach acid on a piece of wood, it would eat right through it. Like, we're perfectly capable of digesting meat. And, yeah, I mean, it's just ludicrous. This guy is a fucking moron, a HenchRoidivore. Where the fuck, if you're out in the wild, in the middle of Siberia, in the cold, what are you going to eat? Or are you going to survive on vegetables? No, you're not. You don't even absorb vegetables as well as you absorb meat. So you're not fully absorbing all those nutrients. Due to the fiber, you're just shitting everything out. So, obviously, HenchRoidivore is full of shit. I would not be surprised if he's consuming meat. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's on steroids. So, yeah. Anyways, that's the end of my shitty video. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.